If you're new to Whatnot, or maybe you are selling on Whatnot and are looking for other supplies that will help you do live shows and shipping, this is a video for you. So I want to break down kind of the supplies that we use for when we are running our show or setting up for our show, and then also talk about the different supplies that we use to ship items on Whatnot. We sell a lot of golf polos on Whatnot. We also sometimes do golf club shows, which are going to be set up and ran a little different than the clothing ones. But we always have a clothing rack, and many of these items you can get on Amazon. So this is the clothing rack that we use. I will say that I do not like that it is the double rack. The shirts are too long. So I would recommend a one rack clothing rack. I think the shirts will just be organized a little bit better. Another thing I use are these size dividers. And so that's what I do. I end up dividing these by size. I know that's not going to work for everyone. So I've seen people do it this way, where they use the dividers to put the different sizes. Also, maybe the different weights of the item. If you're going to be pulling different sizes and you don't want it organized by size. But these work really good. I'm glad that we have them. It just makes us a little bit more organized when we're running our show. Another item we use is this masking tape. So after somebody wins an auction, whatever that auction number is, or their username actually, then we just come and we put the piece of tape on the hanger, and that helps us stay organized. And then we can see the item number, or the number that it sold, like golf polo number 15, and then we'll put the username. And that way, if people start buying multiple items, I can group them together on an empty clothes rack. And then I also use these slim hangers because you can fit many more shirts on there. So that's another item that we use. We also use this ring light. It has an adjustable lighting, so I can turn it down or turn it up depending on how much light I need. And then this part, I put my phone on, and you can tilt it so you can have it go up and down like you would go live on Whatnot. So this one is really nifty. I have it this way because that's how I'm recording the video, but I like that you can switch it back and forth depending on if you want it horizontal or vertical. And since we do sell a lot of clothing, I always have a lint roller handy. We do have dogs. We try to keep them out of the room where we store inventory, but you know how that is. If you have animals, always manages to find you. So it's always good to have a lint roller as well. If you plan on being faceless and having the camera pointing towards the item that you're going to run, this little gadget you can put on a tripod is really handy. This one also flips, so you can have it horizontal or vertical for the show. That way your camera can be here and it can be pointing at whatever item you're running. If you need a good background, I found that at Dollar Tree. It was $1.25, and then you can maybe put some lighting in here and have the item there. So those are two different options when you have the camera facing away from you when you're running the item. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the shipping supplies that we use. When we are setting up our polo show, lately what we've been doing is anything that is over 1 pound. So between 1 and 5 pounds, if a buyer gets over that between the items that they purchase, then we choose flat rate shipping. And you can get these free postal service flat rate boxes. You can either order them on their website, or you can go into any post office and usually they have them. This is the only medium flat rate size that I have. I actually need to buy the one that's more of a cubic box size. And then there's a large flat rate. So what's nice about this is when people buy multiple items and they go over 1 pound, if we have flat rate shipping, then we can use these free shipping supplies. Really keeps costs down when it comes to the amount of money we're paying for shipping supplies. If you, instead of choosing flat rate shipping through the post office for anything 1 to 5 pounds, if you do just priority and you don't do the flat rate, then you can use any boxes. So save those Amazon package boxes that come in. You can always ask stores if they have extra boxes. A lot of people in local Facebook groups will advertise that they have moving boxes or other boxes that they don't want to throw away and they want to give to somebody. So there are ways that you can find free boxes for shipping. Now, if you're like us, when we do our golf club shows. To ship golf clubs, we use these 4x4x48 boxes that we get from Grainger. You can go to places like Play It Again Sports or a golf store, a local golf store, and see if they have any boxes for golf clubs to ship them in. That could also be an option, but Grainger is a good one if you are going to be doing Whatnot and selling pretty much the same items like golf clubs or something where you need a specific size box. You can usually get a pretty good deal on Grainger. Okay, this is our shipping station. Here's our dog, Shandy. She likes to supervise. Hi, Shandy. So anything that you sell that's going to be under a pound can go in like a poly mailer. So when you ship items that are under a pound, they're going to go ground advantage. So you can't use priority boxes, but you can use something like a poly mailer. This one's really nice. I like the quality of it, and the glue is really good. Sometimes when you have these poly mailers, the glue, when you go to take it off, the glue comes with it. So these are very secure. I also use these sometimes from Package Mint. It's actually a local small business here in Arizona, but this is a really cute design. Kind of depends on what you're going to be selling. And then maybe you sell stuff like jewelry and you want to use a plastic bag after somebody purchases an item to stick it in to keep it organized. These are really good as well. These are the 4 mil. So they are going to be a little bit thicker than most of the plastic bags out there. I always have measuring tape handy, either the soft one that I can just kind of have close by, or even this one. Sometimes people, when you are in a show, might be asking what the pit to pit is for a polo shirt. And then that way, these are really nice to have handy in case somebody is curious about the length of something. You will need tape. I love these tape guns. I think it's Mr. Penn is what they are. And then we just started using this SWRT tape. We were using the Uline tape, and that was not sticking as good. But this I'm pretty impressed with. So it's always good to have a tape dispenser and good quality tape. This is the Accutech scale that we use. I love that it is battery operated, so I don't have to have it plugged in. The only drawback is sometimes if you have a box, it's going to cover the reader. So we have a trick for that. You take something, put it on top of it, and it's called the tear method. You hit this and it goes back to 0. And then that way you can place a larger box on top and still be able to read the reader and see what the weight is. And the reason why you might want to use a scale is if you think that your package is going to weigh more, if it's not a flat rate option and you think that the box is going to be over, it's good to double check. And then if it is, you have to then update your shipping dimensions. For our thermal printer, we do have a Dymo printer, but I didn't like that you could only do roll labels. So I only use that for barcodes when we send in stuff to Amazon. This is the Jaden printer. It is very simple to use. It also comes with this label holder, so you can use rolled labels or flat labels, and it never jams up for me. If it does, I just open it up on the side, pull the label back through, and then it's good to go. So this is a really good, inexpensive label printer. Highly recommend it. I think I've had it for maybe 2 or 3 years now, but it works really good. I just ordered these labels. They're 4x6 thermal labels by L Like. Came in a package of 10, so I got 2,500 labels. You might not need that many. They do have an option for just 2 rolls. But one good thing is we tested these. They do not fade like some of the other thermal labels we've used. Another thing we use are these extra large moving bags. So they just unzip, but you can fit a lot of packages. This comes in handy when we do have a lot of orders at the end of a Whatnot show, which is very common. And then you can just bring these. They've got a nice handle when you need to go drop them off at the post office. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you guys was something that we just started doing, and we don't even have to go live, is we started cross-posting our listings from eBay to Whatnot. And this is a new feature on List Perfectly, which is the cross-posting software that we have been using for a very long time. And they just added it, and we were really excited to try it. One good thing is all of our listings were imported from eBay to List Perfectly. And because we did that, we were able to have all of the photos that we took for the items, and then also the description, size, SKU on it. And that has really helped us list items on Whatnot and sell stuff without having to have a lot of live shows. So that is something good if you are new to Whatnot. Maybe you sell on eBay or even Mercari or Poshmark. List Perfectly is very helpful to get those listings onto the Whatnot platform. We do have an affiliate code for List Perfectly. It is Freeway Flippers. You will save 30% your first month, but they also, I believe, have a free trial, which you could always go in and try and see how it works with cross-posting. Now, wherever you have your listings up already, if you are a reseller on other platforms, you can just go directly from the platform to Whatnot, but I recommend importing all your listings into List Perfectly if you're going to try it, only because then you can go into List Perfectly and see what is cross-posted on which platform. So when we go into List Perfectly, I will be able to see this item is on eBay, Poshmark, and Whatnot, and it just helps me stay organized. And then when it sells, I go in, mark it sold, and it delists it from all those platforms. So List Perfectly has definitely helped us get a few more sales by offering cross-posting to Whatnot. So those are some of the supplies that we use for prepping, going live on Whatnot, and then when we are ready to ship items. Now, a lot of people ask us, do I need a printer right away? And the answer is no. You can always go to the library and print out the labels. In the end, most of the time when you're doing Whatnot shows, you are selling a lot of items at a time, and you're going to be needing a lot of labels. So I think it is good to invest in a thermal printer. You can always look on eBay, see if there's any used ones, but I'll leave the link down below for the Jadon printer, the one that we use. If you're watching this and have a supply that you guys use for Whatnot, let us know in the comments below. I love when people share their ideas or what works for them. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of things that you will need if you're just starting out, or maybe you saw something that we use that will help you as well with selling on Whatnot. That's all I have for this video. I'll catch you on the flip.